Hello Eternum and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news, and this is the War Report. Dynamic change in the history of Eternum last night, as the forces of Gobbledale successfully capture their sacred land in the northern Deathwall region of Mourningdale. And the forces of Pushers United push into Brightwood, overcoming the Marauders, and resecure the bear-infested deep forests of Brightwood. KOTT news crews were unable to secure an interview with Syndicate leadership last night, but only because they were too busy defending the new acquisition. And in Mourningdale, KOTT news requests for an interview were met with distant, stoic gazes into space, but Gobbledale leaders had previously committed to the Great Campfire Festival. KOTT News would like to remind its subscribers of the second annual Festival of the Campfire coming this September 28th. Come revisit the early days of the island by setting your campsite outside of town and reminisce about what the Festival of the Campfire means to you. Turning to the weather, but it's not quite the same as usual tonight. And no, it's not the sun flying across the sky as it always does day after day. It's the eastern storm front moving along the coastline that will bring about a 20% chance of invasion in the late night forecast. 3 more submissions for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPCO. Remember, if it isn't LARPCO, it's cardboard. First up, the Syndicate forces of Carb Loaders challenge the champs of Nirvana for their championship belt and the right to rule over Everfall. Carb Loaders spent all day yesterday eating pancakes and pasta, preparing for a marathon of a fight, planning to outlast the champs and win the decision. Despite recent setbacks, Nirvana forces continue to fight to control as much of the island as possible, but will they be able to retain their title belt tonight? Meanwhile, the Covenant forces of Quotha Smash assault the Syndicate forces of Lords of Hotan for control of the uncontrollable Restless Shore. The newcomers of Quotha Smash bring more anarchy to the archipelago by charging headfirst into a fight at the sea-misted and muddy battlefields of Keep Restless Shore. Lords of Hotan have been maintaining the eastern keys of the island, keeping infrastructure standards high. But if they lose their focus, they may lose it all. In the nightcap, the Syndicate forces of Unlimited Liability Corp assail the Covenant Spice Lords of Tropical X for control of First Light and the flow of the spice. Unlimited Liability Corp push citizens' sentiment in their favor and make their first attempt to take land on the island by going for the abundant spice and hyssop fields of First Light. But the reigning Spice Lords of Tropical X have spent the last week getting prepared for the Festival of the Campfire, and they don't intend to let anyone take away their celebration. We'll have the outcomes and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News.